founder of Nostra, where we leverage Lightning payments for cheaper transaction fees. All right, so Lightning Network is a pretty deep topic, so I'm going to gloss over some stuff. But how many of you know what Lightning Network is right now? Anybody? Very few amounts. Okay. All right, so Lightning Network is one of these second layer solutions to solve the scalability issues with blockchains. Ethereum has the Raiden network, Neo has the Trinity network, and the Lightning Network is Bitcoin's solution. The white paper came out in 2015, so it's been a long time coming. And all of these second layer solutions have the same similar concepts involved. We're basically leverage some off-chain technology to basically have cheaper transactions by not hitting that main chain as much. All right, so the real reason we need Lightning Network, these on-chain transactions, these blockchains can't scale on-chain. We need another layer on top of it, just like the development of the internet went. This is a chart of the fees during the last bull run. We had up to $30, $40 fees if you wanted to get your Bitcoin transactions to confirm in a relatively short time, which is unacceptable for a global payment network. So scaling's hard unless you're centralized, like Visa, MasterCard. Before Bitcoin adopted segregated witness last year, it was stuck about 7 transactions a second. And with Bitcoin, when you send a transaction, there's about a roughly 10-minute delay before the transaction is fully confirmed. And Lightning Network helps solve that by pushing that off the main chain onto the Lightning Network. Okay, skip that. All right, so with Bitcoin, we have some limited resources. We have the storage size of the block size for Bitcoin, which the Lightning Network gets around by not having any block size to worry about. The Lightning Network transactions only they have one on-chain transaction to begin with when you initialize your Lightning wallet, and another off-chain transaction at the very end, which means all the transactions on your Lightning Network wallet will be pretty much free. We get around bandwidth and latency issues that Bitcoin has by going off-chain. And right now, if you spend Bitcoin at a coffee shop, you send that transaction goes out, and the whole world needs to come to a consensus that your transaction is valid, and after that, it's saved forever on the blockchain. This doesn't seem feasible or necessary for worldwide adoption. The world doesn't need to know you bought a coffee. So segregated witness was one critical component to allowing Lightning Network to go online. Right now it's in beta. There's about 1,000 nodes online right now. You can send transactions on mainnet right now with Lightning Network. You can refill your phone through bitrefill.com. It also fixed a transaction malleability bug. And about 40% of all transactions right now are segregated witness transactions. This basically allows us to fit more transactions in each block. It's one of the on-chain scaling solutions Bitcoin has implemented, but it's not enough. So as a second layer solution, it's not just Bitcoin. Lightning Network can also make on-chain payments. Lightning Network payments can use Litecoin as well. And Raiden, and I'm pretty sure Trinity, is also compatible with Lightning Network. The development hasn't happened yet, but all the technology that it needs is in place. You basically just get off-chain speed with on-chain security. And it's not a silver bullet to scaling. It's for micropayments and small payments in general. If you're sending a whole Bitcoin, Lightning Network's not for that. Now, to explain how it works, I'm going to tell a little story. Basically, if you go on a vacation with some friends, one person pays for the transportation, one person pays for the hotel, one person pays for food. If you were to settle everyone's debts at every step of the way, that would be equivalent to what's happening on the network right now. And if you just waited till the end of the trip, and then you settle all the debts because you all trust each other, that no one's going to run off mid-vacation and not pay their bill, that's pretty much what the Lightning Network allows, but with those IOUs are cryptographically backed. So we only need to settle those payments on the main chain at the end of the trip, or when you want to pull your funds off the Lightning Network. Lightning Network is the same routing used for the Tor network. And so it's instant, private, and cheap. Transaction fees can be under a Satoshi. There are limitations, there are trade-offs. The biggest one is probably you have to be online to receive funds. That's part of the trade-offs required. Its security is strictly worse than Bitcoin because it's not as old, not as tested. And there's new infrastructure that has to be built out. But probably one of the biggest limitations right now to adoption is, just like they mentioned in the previous panel, is user experience. That's being settled right now. There's a lot of work being done. Blockchain and Bitcoin definitely needs more designers in the space to help solve this problem, because people aren't going to use it if it's too complicated, no matter how cheap or fast it is. Got the UX. People criticize the routing. Routing is sometimes seen as a layer above Lightning Network. It's not specified in the protocol. Need a wallet to accept Lightning Network transactions. People will criticize Lightning Network, saying your funds need to be locked up in the Lightning Network because you need to take them off, and that costs money. But when you lock up your Lightning Network funds, they're really unlocked because you can have essentially free transactions on that network. People say it's centralized, but it's a layer 2 solution, and it doesn't affect the layer below it. You can do whatever you want on Lightning Network, just like Bitcoin. Shitcoin.com has a great in-depth explanation of someone basically creating a bunch of nodes and having over 51% of the network, or not of the network, but of available capacity in the network. Yeah. So right now we have about 3,000 nodes on mainnet. And a capacity of only 85-ish, maybe up to 100 by now, Bitcoin. And it's been growing, but really the state is it's in beta. It's a tool for developers right now, but you can download a testnet or mainnet wallet on your phone and play around. If you want a deeper technical explanation or have any questions, feel free to find me after. And thanks for your time.